So relationship meddlers. Who's all in a relationship?
I'm in a situationship. Does that count?
It does count.
Yes, why not?
Okay, I'm gonna raise my hand like this. Is it polyamorous? Am I saying it right? Polygamy? Poly one pocket.
Polygamous.
It's the do's and the don'ts, and you should not discuss nothing. Zip it up. If they say don't say it, don't say it.
Relationship that I was years. Y'all, 12 years? And some people are married for 25 years, so it's a thing. It's a thing. 30 years. I cheated on 47. I cheated. Shit, she didn't tell me that. Now, we done been off camera for 2 hours. You ain't tell me that this whole 2 hours? You ain't. Because I wanted out. I might as well have lied to you. Yeah. As much as you accuse me of lying, I might as well have gone out to the club.
What happened I walked in on people banging in the fridge, but that's another story.
Banging in the fridge?
Where y'all at today? This is an episode of Pretty Smart. We're coming through with some pretty smart material for you today. Right. Having integrity to those that are not present.
I bet that intro was fire, but nobody heard you because you muted. Oh no, technical difficulties. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Hi, ladies.
What's up, Tree?
How y'all doing today?
How y'all doing?
Good.
Looking good.
Girl, we struggling. We striving.
Dre, I see what you trying to do. You knew Ellie was going to be on today. I don't know where she at, but you knew Ellie was going to be here. So I see what you did with I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing.
Talking about my shirt, huh?
Nah, I'm talking about your hair. You know what I'm talking about.
I was just getting ready earlier. I had to do some things, so I like dolled up and stuff. But anyways, what about the soft life though? I mean, are we talking about the soft life today?
Yes.
Are y'all living your soft life?
What's soft life?
I would say, in my opinion, soft life is just living a life of peace, having some sort of balance in between, working and being able to sustain yourself while also being able to rest and take those days of calm.
Ooh, I like that because I am.
I like that. I like that as the definition of a soft life, as opposed to soft life where people just think you got it easy and life is just, there's no struggle, there's no control, there's no organization to it.
Exactly.
I like the you got to take care of me side of life.
I love that part, actually. I believe for me, soft life is similar to what Keziah said, but I believe it's more of like also touching on like the spiritual side as well, like like in alignment with the higher power is along with taking care of yourself and putting yourself first and being peaceful having joy actually in everything that we have going on in life, because life can sometimes like really bring you down, you know what I mean? And
Hmm.
I just feel like when we find the joy in the tough times is what really helps us keep it soft and stay soft, you know what I mean? I feel like a lot of women and men like let the struggles kind of like take them away from that soft space in their life, you know?
But
So
you know
just
what? Suppose we think about, let's rephrase that.
Hold on,
Let's
Lynn.
find,
Hold on, Lynn, because Ellie talking about, hey, couldn't make it home in time to join, but I'm tuning in. You only 7 minutes late. You can still get in here. She just, I'll take my wig off and lay down. I ain't make it.
right, right. No, no, jump in here, girl. You don't get the soft life. You don't get the soft life. Okay, you
get
got to come on in here. Yeah.
No, but
get
like
up,
going
girl.
back to what you said earlier, I do agree that, you do have to really make sure that you prioritize that happiness and that joy. A lot of people do forget to do that, and
Hmm.
they push it all the way to the bottom of the list of priorities, and that really will come back and bite you in the butt in the long run, honestly. Can't do anything without happiness.
You
Right.
know
It's
what, though? I'm still thinking, I would like for us to redefine that. Let's come up with what we really call that aspect of life. Because soft life sometimes can throw you out the window, throw a lot of things out the window. I'm more inclined, than that, you
Your
know.
audio's going out, in and out.
your
I'm,
audio.
I'm more comfortable with a balanced life as opposed to a soft life. Because soft life can have a different connotation for a lot of people. And I
I'm
think,
glad she said that. I'm glad you said that, Lynn. So let's do this. I'll tell y'all two things. One, I had it up earlier. It says what a soft life is supposed to be: a lifestyle trend that prioritizes ease,
mhm,
peace, and emotional well being over relentless hustle and burnout. But here's the misconception that people think a soft life can equate to laziness, excessive luxury, a
right,
lack of responsibility, when it is actually an intentional, boundary driven lifestyle focused on protecting mental health and
yeah,
reducing unnecessary stress. Because one thing is, you can hustle. Living a life of luxury sounds great, but the stress to keep that up and the
mhm,
means to keep that up is a whole different thing.
Yeah.
right, right,
Yeah. I feel like when it comes to women, they like misconstrued some women misconstrued the soft life if they're not like thinking like on a higher level. You know what I mean? I feel like they like, Kiani said, they think of it as like this luxury lifestyle and like vacationing and buying diamonds and just not like actually like having a set on reality,
mhm,
as far as like still having, to run a business or going to work, I mean, still dealing with the complications of life, but the mindset, like you said, the mindset, the mentality, the mental health that comes along with that, and some women just say like I see it on Instagram, I see it on TikTok, I see it on all social medias, and they're like, "Oh, I'm living a soft life. I'm living a soft life. I'm living a soft life." And it's like, I don't see you running a business. I don't see you going to work. I don't see you actually living a soft life. I see you living something a little different than a soft.
right.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that observation. I like that observation. Because a balanced life that's peaceful, that's comfortable, that's spirit driven, that's um, loving, that's giving, that's participating is one thing. Soft life, when it relates to, is everything handed to you and you just go, oh, I've just got everything for joy, is for me not my reality. Okay,
Mine either.
it's not my reality,
Mm.
but I do fully understand and embrace. that balanced life, Keziah, that's got all of those pieces that we're talking about when we say, when we consider soft life, peace, balance,
Yeah,
financial stability, all of that.
exactly. Overall, I feel like it's definitely, it all comes back to just feeding the soul in the long run, not necessarily what you have materially.
Right,
Um,
Right.
yeah,
right.
Mm.
You know,
Definitely feel like that goes into that balance for sure.
yeah, I think that I don't know about you all, but I have obviously years of experience that have begun to teach me and show me what really matters.
Mm.
And
Yes.
I'm concerned about my young sisters that base their life on all of these material things and, you know, what they have, what they don't have, or what can somebody give them.
Right. And like I can say this like I have lived like a good life of, being taken care of, or like someone buying me luxury items and someone taking me on trips and my significant other doing things for me and like just taking care of me, but still in the midst of all that, I still at that time that was happening for me, I didn't have like something for myself. You know what I mean? I still didn't feel fulfilled. I didn't feel like I was fulfilling myself. I felt like somebody else was just fulfilling something for me that was just material things and just it wasn't fulfilling. Like my spirit wasn't fed, you know what I mean? And so as I grew and as I learned and as I, had to learn things on my own and kind of do things on my own, I realized like I wasn't even really happy in those moments. I wasn't really happy with someone giving me everything
Mhm,
because I wasn't fulfilled. Like I wasn't fulfilling myself, you
mhm,
know? And I feel like you have to find something or have something in life that you're working towards as a woman,
mhm.
and that you're working towards for yourself. Because when someone's constantly giving, 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 it's like,
First
Well,
of
you
all, you said you were going to leave me out of this, Dree. Second of all, Ty Jackson says, "What's the relation to that with men?" Oh, we got to get on the men already. Now, what's the relation in that with men? Was that kind of something you were just talking about when you were saying you had someone that was giving you things, but it wasn't
yes,
amounting to the other things?
right. It was, yeah. I mean, I feel like that's what it is. I feel like, but also that's what I also believe. Like the relation with that to men is like a woman being taken care of and not having any worries, what I'm saying, as far as like reality of life,
Mhm,
like because the reality of life is that we will struggle, there will be disagreements, there will be pain, there will be challenges, you know what I mean, but it's how you respond to those challenges and how you work through those challenges. And this fake soft life is really not, that's not reality.
mhm.
Because a
I
man
got
could leave you. A man could leave you. A
girl.
man could say, if we really just decided, oh, okay, like I'm gonna live this soft life, like, and what if he's like, okay, well, I'm tired of you now. I actually found something a little younger and a little better. Then we're not living a soft life no more, right?
Well, you see, when I was in college, for example, I had a roommate who looked at men in terms of potential. Okay, what can you do for me? What can you give to me, etc. And I said, well, what happens when he's gone? then you are then you are stuck with nothing because you have depended on somebody else to give you some of the luxuries that you thought you wanted. But I will speak honestly. I am a widow. I have been for 19 years, which basically I'm a single woman. And I've gone through what making decisions to do things based on whether I had somebody else to do them with or whether I was going to go do them by myself. And I finally went, I still ain't got no man to do everything with, but I'm tired of sitting at home not doing anything. And the
Right. Wait.
reality is, my desires, my goals don't change based on whether there is a man or a significant other in my life.
Well, two things. One, the thing you said earlier about the girl asking, "What can you do for me?" I remember when this girl asked me, "Well, if we were dating, what could you do for me?" I said, "We would never date." And she said, "Why?" I said, "Because you already asked the wrong question. You should
Right,
have asked, what would I do for us?"
right. What can we
Yep.
do together?
Because I don't believe two people should be together and one's making the other better. We're supposed to make each other better. And Bill Burr always says this: when we say make each other better, it doesn't always mean me, because it
Mhm.
can't always be the man is a building with scaffolding around it, and you're this finished, pristine project that
Right,
has nothing to
right,
fix. So
right.
we're not working on us. And then the second thing, you have that, I don't want to say fulfillment, but the thing that I respect about you is you're talking about the stage you're in now. You're not preaching this as, "Hey, I know you're 22, girl, but you don't need all that."
Right.
Like, you've been through those stages.
Right, right. And I figured out, one of the things I learned a long time that I listened to a long time ago, Farrakhan used to describe a mate or significant other as a helpmate. And I really love the way you look at that, Keone. It ties in with, we're doing this together, you know, and then we're going to figure it out. Otherwise, if I'm relying on you to do this for me, then I'm stuck with what happens when you don't do it anymore, or when you can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
My whole thing is what we bring to the table when we are in relationship, and I'm not defining what the relationship looks like, ought to be something that we do together. And sometimes somebody has a little bit more contribution than the other, but it doesn't demean that person. It just means I got this part of it and you got that part of it, and together it works.
Amen.
That makes 100% sense. Yeah, I'm a strong believer in two people shouldn't necessarily be together if they don't know themselves alone, basically, when they're
Mhm.
single. And basically, exactly what y'all just said, it's very, very important to go out and do those things on your own, figure out what you like, the hobbies that you enjoy, find out something new about yourself, maybe in the process because again a lot of these people will be in relationships for years and they'll have the other person constantly doing everything for them and they'll depend on that person. One day that person is just gone out of the blue and they can't do it for themselves anymore. It's very, very sad, but by putting ourselves first, finding a balance in between, relationship time, things like that, and then self care. I'm gonna go to the spa,
Mhm.
girls' day. I'm gonna go on a little trip without my significant other. That's all tying into the soft life. It really truly is.
Absolutely. Definitely as a woman, I believe you need to have your own thing, like you said, have your own thing going on, have your own money, have your own business because yeah, sometimes men just decide they want something new or sometimes they vanish, ghost, you want to just be able to still live that lifestyle that you've been living, still have the lifestyle that you've already had before they came along, because it's just a
What
lot
about
of women.
what about when you ghost me?
I never ghost you.
What about when you ghost me? Now, you act like all the men do it. Go. What about when you ghost me? What
I mean,
about when I take my high school sweetheart, marry her, build a company, become a millionaire? She cheats on me with my best friend. She again gives me divorce papers, and then I live in a studio apartment and pay for the mortgage that she's in with my former best friend. What
You
about
get
that?
a lawyer.
oh
What
yeah,
about that?
you need a good lawyer. You need
That
a
lady,
good lawyer.
You need a
Because
good lawyer, right?
she didn't
Oh,
come in genuine.
yeah, that was user error.
oh, so now it's user error. I want to see how y'all do.
User
Yeah,
error.
no. See, this is why I can't. This is why I can't just turn the show on and let y'all talk. Cause then, because this is what y'all do. Now
Well,
it's
I'm
user
just saying,
error.
you got to protect yourself.
Okay.
She
Was it
definitely
user error? Was it user error when some of these women lay down with some of these men that ain't, you know what, and let them put a baby in them? Is that user error?
Yep.
yeah, that
Okay.
is user
That's big
error.
time user error.
That
Okay.
sounds like user error, system malfunction.
Right, right.
Yeah.
That's
Because I feel like women can pick the men that they want to have kids with. You know what I mean? I feel like it's just a little seducing and a little bit of liquor and a little bit of flip your hair and flip
Do
your
whatever.
y'all know? Do y'all disagree when men say it's a lot easier for you than it is for us?
No.
Because it is. Listen, especially let's just talk from a sexual perspective, right? If I, as a man, go in a club that has 80 women in it and they're all straight, 80 women in it,
Wait a minute,
and
and
I
they're
just
all
walk
what?
in,
And they're all
let's just
what?
say they're all straight. Because I
Okay.
said 80 women in a club, y'all gonna be like, well, dang, is it a lesbian club? 80 women in a club and they're all straight, because it's a hypothetical. And let's say I'm Tyson Beckford looking. I'm not me. I'm Tyson Beckford looking. I go in there and I say, who wanna sleep with me tonight? You know, I get a couple hands, right? Say I'm the finest dude, right? Now you take your fine ass in a club with 100 men and ask that same question. How many more hands you gonna get raised? Do that.
999.
Right. So that's on that's on the sexual part. You all do not. Some of you do not understand the power that you possess, and we give in too easy. And I'll tell you a prime example. I went to check someone into a hotel because they couldn't afford it. Check them into a hotel, and this girl was sitting there, and she was talking to me, and this guy walked in, and he said, "Hey, I was trying to holler at you. Can I get your number?" And she's like, "Are you staying here at the hotel?" He said, "Yeah." She said, "Well, just come by my room." He said, "I don't know where you live." She said, 128. He said, "Why I gotta come on your door? You can't just give me your number?" And I said, "Well, damn, if you don't want to go to the door, I'll go to the door." And he looked at me and said, "I can't believe you said that." Well, you acted like you don't want it. And so he walked out the door and she ran right behind him and gave him the number and came back in. And then within 5 seconds, she's like, "He done sent me 5 pictures in the video. He doing too much." I said, "But you know what?
You gave us
You
the interest.
ran out the door. You set the standard of what you wanted him to do,
Right,
and you caved in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
You had all the power
right,
and you gave it away."
right,
That's the thing that bothers me.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Y'all
I
have the power.
I know I got the power.
Yeah. You just got to play a
Well,
little game, honestly. Just a little tiny, tiny bit in the beginning.
And that's the problem. Like, it's like some of these women, or maybe some of these men too, like they don't want to play the game, and it's a little bit of cat and mouse.
Hmm.
It's you gotta, pull a little, and
Yeah.
it's like,
People
damn,
say women are difficult and people are difficult, and then when she went ahead and gave you the invitation, now you're changing the parameters. Like, what do you want now? And this is the thing that annoys me too. Men stay disguised and intricate. It's 2026. We can give up the narratives. We both do it.
oh yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah, it's not men. We both do it. I've come to the fact to realize that some people, doesn't matter the gender, are just shitty people.
yep,
100%. Yeah.
yes,
Definitely.
I think though that where I'm coming in life is to understand that the bottom line is not the only person, but the primary person I owe to be true to is me.
myself, yeah,
Is
Definitely.
to be true to myself. Even as I discover, and I'm going to tell everybody, y'all, it's never too late to discover more of you. With age, with years that go by, you can own certain things, you can let them go, you can take them back in. But the bottom line is the person you owe being true to is yourself. Because with that, you have the ability to then share what you will or not with anybody else. But
yes, I agree.
until you can own who you are, be comfortable with who you are, whether it's from a business point of view, a sensual or sexuality point of view, or from just the human point of view. Until you come to grips fully with who you are, you have to be, that's when you know what you have to really offer. And I think, unfortunately, many of our young women are taught to depend on somebody else taking care of, and that diminishes them. I'm like, hold
Absolutely.
up, why I gotta depend on somebody else to pay my rent?
Yeah,
If
that just don't sound right.
if I can't pay my rent, I'm in trouble. If you
Hell,
can't pay my rent, we both in trouble. So at
hell
this
yeah.
at this point, I need to make sure I'm not in trouble.
Well, how do you
Right.
guys feel about this? Because people complain about that, about women want to work and they want to be out there. Because the number one highest percentage rising of entrepreneurs is black women.
Right.
And people look at that as you guys are trying to be too independent. You're trying to do this and that. First of all, we've made society that one person, unless they're making a ridiculous amount of money, can't be the only source of
Can't
income.
be the only source.
So
Right.
a lot of men cannot afford for their woman to stay home. And I'm sorry that every man can't be a millionaire. Somebody's got to be a mechanic. Not that mechanics don't make a lot of money, but
Right.
somebody's got to do these jobs, right?
Somebody
So
gotta do the
we've
work.
made it so that you can get out there. What I don't like is when I see people on a medium income and it's still expected that that man take care of 100% of the financial burden even when the woman is working. That doesn't make any financial sense. Number
No.
one.
I mean, no, it doesn't. And I'm gonna tell you, when I was married, my husband was a creative type. I was the more traditional corporate type. So I had to make a decision, and I was not the woman that said, "Baby, your income don't match mine, so we can't be together." How about I tell you what, I got this done, you help take care of that part, and then you can do what God gave you the gift to do. And a lot of people don't understand that. But it takes a mutually agreed upon setting to work.
Absolutely.
Exactly. It's a partnership at the end of the
It's a
day.
partnership. When there's a partnership, and
Yeah.
I'm not defining what it looks like, because I'm not one that's going to be, it's got to be male. Look, whatever the partnership is.
Right. I just believe that nowadays it's a lot different than, and now I mean, obviously a long time ago women weren't able to work. Women wasn't able to have a bank account. Women wasn't able to do certain things, especially black women. So now that we are rising, to the top, and we are making a way for our own selves and making our own money and taking care of our own stuff, I think that that's great, and I hate that they think that we're so independent, but it's like, this is just kind of the way the world's been changing. I think that they should give us a hand clap for even wanting to take the initiative and working and paying for our own stuff. And
Well, for me, I didn't know the difference. I didn't know the difference. I grew up, I was the only girl in the family, but I grew up selling dinners, doing things that were entrepreneurial at whatever age. You know, I
right.
wasn't taught, and I grew up in an educated family, I wasn't taught women stay home and they do this and the man does that. I grew up where we contribute to the household, however we contribute to the household. You
Same.
know,
That's exactly how it was for me as well. Like I've been working since I was 15 years old, and like even
absolutely.
before that, I was
So
doing
2 years ago.
longer than that. But yeah, I've been working since then, and I plan to continue to work well into my adulthood and support my family and things like that. So yeah, I feel as though when there is a partnership, it's definitely supposed to be a situation where you're building one another up overall at the end of the day.
Well, Taisha says something, and it's a yes and a no. Well, to me, she says the partnership should work with what fits you and your partner. Society should be left out. That is true in many cases. Just like what you guys do in your bedroom, how you guys raise your kids, how you guys do a lot of things. But basically, the financial aspects, society has dictated that, and there's no way to get around it. Like I just said, we used to have a society where you only needed one person to work and mom could stay home. I even knew cases where the mom had a great job and the dad was a stay-at-home dad. Yes, people, there are stay-at-home dads out there.
Yeah.
um and but again, if one of you is not making a exorbitant type of money, it's very hard. Dre lives in California. I was just there. San Diego was $6.90 for gas.
Right.
Yes,
Okay.
it's expensive.
A
Right.
one
I'm
bedroom
struggling
apartment.
with the
I was
490.
looking at a one bedroom apartment and it was like $2,900.
Right.
You think I'm spending that on my own?
Definitely
No.
not.
No.
I need help.
Yeah.
No. But I
Right.
mean, there are things, for example, when I lived in New York and rent was crazy, okay? And I had the greater income, but I never ever had to worry about anything being cut off. Okay, baby, we're gonna have to work this out. You're gonna have to figure it out to help with whatever. But at the same token, because of my job, there were things I didn't like to do. My husband was like, I got you. What we having for dinner tonight? I don't know. You go figure it out. There were things, there was a trade off where, if my job didn't allow for me to cook dinner, I'd come home and dinner would be cooked for me. The kitchen would be clean for me. So that the things that most people think are traditional female roles, honey, you just throw them up in the air and figure out how's it going to get done.
Yeah, exactly.
And
My
we going to
thing
work,
is, it all has to get done anyway. Somebody got to
it's
do it,
all got to
doesn't it?
get done.
Yeah.
You
Somebody
know,
gotta do it. Somebody gotta do it.
Look, when my husband would come with the female job, see, I was never one of them. I had a twin brother. I didn't have sisters. So I didn't believe in this is what the woman does and this is what.
Oh shit, it's getting juicy.
I
Yeah.
wasn't raised like that.
Yeah.
It's
So
getting juicy.
so there would
Same.
be times if my husband would go, honey, where's that shirt, that t-shirt I'm looking for? I'm like, in the laundry. And he's like, where? I said, I don't know. You need to go look. Okay.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I was real clear on I'm not your traditional housewife, but that's because of the way that I was raised. And as a female, quite frankly, if I was sitting here now waiting on a man to do for me, I would never do. I would never do things that I really wanted to do. But I'm going to be honest with you. I had to hurdle that. Not for a man to do it for me, but for a man to do it with me,
Right. Okay.
which is still different, you know. And I had to get to where, okay, I'm just going to do this because it's my heart desire.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And so I was gonna ask a question. I was gonna say, what kind type of wife or what type of woman are you? But Lynn, you answered, that question. Kazaya, what do you think? What type of like woman or wife are you? Are you the one that, is like Lynn? You like will take out the trash and you
I definitely do think that I am. Just because like Lynn said, I'm the oldest of three and I'm the only girl. So growing up it was very much so everybody does a little bit of everything around the house
Hmm.
and it's a nice smooth sailing ship from there. So yeah, I definitely think that I would probably honestly, like I said earlier, end up continuing to work. So I don't mind not necessarily being the breadwinner, but I don't mind working, bringing in income to support the household and things like that. So I think this would be a pretty even balance, honestly, in my household.
I can't.
I think you need to move forward. Your audio, your audio's going weak.
Is it better now?
You know,
Yes.
I think women need to, I think we need to step away from, and this is the way I was raised. We need to step away from this is a woman's job, this is a man job. It's called, it needs to get done. However, it gets done. Okay. But at the same token, you
Mhm.
know, if we're relying on somebody else at any point in time, financials, household, etc., there are parts of life stories that says that's not the reality for you. Okay, for 19 years I have been a widow. Okay, I got nobody that's gonna check in and make sure this is done. Come take my trash out, get my kitchen done, etc. But I will tell you, I did grow up in my family where there were only my family. My parents did not separate male jobs from female jobs. The only time they did that was when I wasn't the one that had to take a vacuum cleaner up and down the stairs or cut the grass. And that was only for the concern of childbearing. Honey, once I went past that, it's on. What we got to get done. Okay. What's got to be done? It ain't about childbearing. I'm not straining nothing. I'm not hurting nothing. Does it need to be done?
Hi, Ellie.
Hi,
Welcome.
Ellie.
So sorry, I'm fashionably late.
Okay, you're looking pretty
Okay,
and
you bet.
fine.
Yeah. All right now.
Okay, so before I answer, I'm gonna ask Ellie.
Okay.
Ellie, what type of woman, what type of woman, wife are you? Are you the type of woman that is like you go with traditional, role values, like traditional roles, like as far as you taking the trash out, or you allowing the man to take the trash out, or like what type of woman are you? Like what?
She's the type of woman that curses you out on your Instagram chat and not realize you ain't the one that controls your Instagram chat. And she the one that shows up an hour late to the show while cursing at you in your Instagram chat, not realizing that you're not the one who controls your Instagram chat. That's the type of woman she is.
Y'all, Keone had a did y'all see that opening cover?
Yeah,
Y'all see
no,
that picture?
Kazaya will tell you, you act like that looks nothing like you at all.
Who
And we
who is
gonna
that
show
girl?
you right now.
It
No,
don't look like
no.
me either.
Who
We
is
gonna
that?
show you right. What do
Listen,
you mean?
it
Who is
wasn't
that?
that bad. Did
Look,
you see
look, put
mine?
look, it's right.
Who
They're the same, almost the
the
same person. What do you
heck
mean?
is
Who is
that?
that?
She said, "Who is that?"
The picture is right
It's not
next to
too
it.
far off, but who is that below? Because that's not me.
That is,
Right?
oh, you know
Like,
what? I'm gonna show y'all since y'all want to do this. I'm gonna show
We
y'all the
talking
raggedy ass
about
pictures y'all sent me to 50. So we got Ellie side to side. It's almost the same damn picture. You may not think you
no,
don't look like that, but the pictures are side to side. So the proof is in the pudding, sweetie. Okay,
Oh,
so we
okay.
got that one right.
those are
So
two different images.
that well, one's AI generated, and it's based off of what you put up there, and that's the picture you put up there, and it's almost the same person. You may not think so, but it is. And then Kazaya, this is the picture you sent me. What you wanted to do? It's the,
Don't worry, I
what
got
are
one.
y'all talking about? What are we talking about here?
Oh my
Y'all
god.
act like these two. Y'all act like these two images are just drastically different.
They really are. They
Yeah.
really
What?
are.
Dre, am I crazy? Am I
no,
crazy?
Listen, brownie points because you tried your best.
honey, you are not crazy.
What? Okay, let's make it a little bigger. And it actually made you a little. It actually balanced your color a little better.
It's
Yeah, it
It
looks
giving
made
me
you.
better,
It made your
honestly.
little wig a little nicer too.
no, because the first
Nah,
photo
that was
gives cute.
natural right there.
The natural
No,
photo gives
no.
cute.
And then Ellie, the
The
AI
second
sure did
photo,
make your.
it
It
looks
sure
like
did make
y'all
your
took me. It looks like y'all
Ellie.
took me to get the I hate myself special. Like,
No, that first of all, the AI made your forehead shorter, so that's good. Okay, so y'all gonna get off my shit. Okay,
yeah,
go back to what you were saying.
I'm dead.
I'm gonna tell you, Keone, you need to know that I love what AI did with me on that one that was animated. I was like, yes,
Oh,
there
the
we go.
animated ones were
Okay,
cute. Hmm.
animated was cute, but so we
Ah,
got
she took Ellie off.
okay.
Wow.
Ellie taking the trash out right now.
I didn't take her off. It's that Boost Mobile internet she got because ain't no man paying for it.
Oh Lord, here we go. Here
Just a
we
little
go.
cameo. No worries.
Oh my gosh, she was supposed to answer her next question. I mean, her question. Okay,
No,
well,
so I went to the Instagram because Lamarcus does the social media now, and
right.
Ellie said, "Keone, who in the hell is in this thing that you posted?" And Lamarcus like, "It's not Keone, it's Lamarcus."
Oh, Marcus, I need to follow him because I seen somebody follow me and I'm like, who is this? But okay, now I know who it is. Okay.
Taishay,
It's
Ty
Lamar.
is Taishay, by the way, y'all. Taishay's been this whole time. She said, "Y'all got me in the gym."
Cracking up.
Because I was just looking at a picture that's almost exactly replica. That's not me.
That's not
Okay.
me.
It's not.
I put them up side by side. It's almost a splitting image. That's not me.
Okay.
It's like the pictures got our all of our colors look like you know how you got low discolor. Your boobs
Yes.
are lighter than your face. You know what I'm saying? Like
Bree, you now look. Ellie and Keziah may have a little thing, even though they're being over dramatic. You ain't got nothing to complain about in this picture, so you just
I,
be quiet.
I didn't complain. I didn't
You
say.
look like Janet Jackson in this picture.
I'm like that's cute AI.
I'm back.
I liked it. Oh, you
Ellie,
back?
do you need a man to pay for your internet?
I think I do.
Ellie's not living her soft life.
I volunteer as tribute.
Hey, period. I get
Okay, so Ellie, what type of woman are you? Are you a traditional woman that be like, the man needs to take out the roles? What is it called? Gender roles?
Yeah, I feel like I'm definitely very traditional. Like, he has to open my door, pay for my dinner, take out my trash, fill up my gas, like all of that.
Did this girl say fill up my gas?
Fill
Yeah.
up my car.
In this
Okay,
Right,
time,
yes.
so
Okay, well, that you still in ratchet woman phase. You talking about fill up your car?
But
Okay,
okay,
you gonna mess around and need to catch the bus because ain't gonna get no gas in that tank.
I'm dead.
so
uh-uh.
Ellie, all I'm getting ready to say to you, my sister, is take her from Sister Lynn. Your ass gonna be in for a whole lot of surprises through life if you wait. If you waiting on all of that, okay?
I
Okay.
mean,
Right,
it's
because
done.
I will fill up
I
your tank
agree.
once you get to the house. What I'm not fit to do is send you money to fill up your tank and your ass don't show up.
Your ass right,
oh
right.
wow.
But I'm gonna show up. But you have to fill up my tank in order for me to show up.
I
So
can
Right.
fill up your
Like,
tank. That's no problem. But if you're expecting that like every time your car is in my vicinity, it's not gonna happen. Because why you ain't got no gas money?
Right. What you
It
doing?
has to be out of
it's
question.
your job to pay for
Okay,
my gas.
and what are you gonna do when you come to town and I have an emergency? Your ass just gonna be stuck.
One, obviously, I'll pay for my gas in a situation like that.
Okay, well then put your gas in your tank and then I'll get you something else. Don't be expecting me to put no damn gas in your tank.
Let me give y'all one piece of, I don't want to call it advice. I'm going to give you one example of learning.
give
It's
us a
called a
like,
warning, not advice. She's
A
giving you a
warning.
warning.
A
oh, you
warning.
giving us a warning. Okay, give us a warning.
You know, one of my friends growing up through college, we've known each other more than 60 years. When we were in college, she would say, "What kind of potential?" And she would look at, "What shoes are you wearing? What car are you driving?" But what I will say is I had to look at, what does that mean? Okay? You might have the right shoes, you might have the right shoes or not. But when you go picking someone based on what they can do for you, I'm going to say to you that my girlfriend's marriages and her life did not work out well. Okay, because she picked materialistic things to base what her life should be about, as
Yeah.
opposed to fulfillment aspects that make your life whole, loving, living, and worthy of pursuing with someone else.
And and I like that you said that, Lynn, because I am a little I am traditional like Ellie, to answer my question for all of us. I am traditional. But I pick based on certain things, like not material things, you know what I mean? Like, but I do have a standard. So, I would like for, my man to be a little traditional,
I know
and
Dree's standard too.
Right. But
It never happened if the ain't happened.
right. But I think that at in the bottom line is this: what makes you happy, what makes
yes,
you fulfilled. And
right,
at some
right.
point, it ain't got nothing to do with what bills you pay or don't pay. Well, no, that's not true. You know, you need to be a part of making sure we stay whole.
Yes.
Whether it's equitable or not, from a financial point, is one thing. Your finances may not be equitable, his may not be covering everything, but if in the bottom line as a female, if you are going to have a partner, what matters is a partner in life that makes you whole, makes you thriving, makes you loving, keeps you giving. Beyond that, then you're gonna have to figure it out. I mean, right now I'm at a point in my life. If I sat around waiting on somebody else to take care of me, I would never get done or experience what I've experienced in life at this point. And
Yeah,
I'm
because that
proud of
guy,
what I've accomplished as a single woman.
yeah, because that guy that'll fill your gas tank might also be the guy that'll put his hands on you too.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
Absolutely.
depend on how he. Well, now if he got good hands and they not hurting hands.
oh my God. Anyway, all right, Lynn. All right, Lynn. All right, Lynn.
That
But like
part.
we had an episode of this lady, and I don't want to say her name. I had to take her episode off of. It's the only episode I had to delete because she wrote a book. She's never gonna watch this episode, so that's fine. She wrote a book, Single Women Who Desire a Husband, and she was giving advice. And what I realized was she was giving it terrible advice, but she was related, putting God in the middle of it to make it sound like good advice, right? So me and her got into a little back and forth because she said, if it doesn't work out with the man that you desire, then that's not the man that God wanted for you. And I said, wait a minute. You can't just chalk it up at that because then that cuts off the ability to go see where you messed up or what
Right.
you didn't do by just saying, "Oh well, that's not the man that God wanted for me." And she just kept giving terrible advice. So I said, "How old are you?" She said, 50.
She said,
And I
"What?
said, "Are you married?"
Wait a
She
minute." She
Right.
said,
said,
"No." Then how are you teaching? I'm so confused. I'm tired of these people that give advice and they're not even in a successful relationship, but they want to tell you how to have a successful relationship. It's like Steve Harvey. I don't want to hear marriage advice for somebody who had a wife and was paying for a house for his mistress while paying for an apartment for his other mistress. And then you want to give me marriage advice.
I agree. I don't
Ooh.
take advice from
Yeah. I
anybody who
agree.
isn't already like in a
Hold on. What
similar.
were you saying, Ellie?
I said I don't take advice from anybody who I wouldn't like look up to, or like who aren't already doing the things they say
Yeah.
is advice or have already done it and are
Have you
successful.
guys? Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I'm like that too. I don't take advice from people that's not in a space where I want to be at or I feel like,
Yeah.
is can teach me something, right? So
Hmm.
like I don't know if you guys, I know we all have Instagram, but if you guys have you guys heard of Dr. Cheyenne Bryant? She's supposed to be like she's very popular. She's supposed to be a doctor, a psychologist, a relationship expert, and she's really big on social media right now. And right now, it's going around that she's, a liar as far as her credentials and, things like that. Because she said that she's a doctor, but she can't get her transcripts or her certification from Agora University, which is where you order your transcripts from and where you get your certificates from if you need to.
Wait a minute. What's her name again?
Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
Yeah, let me look her up.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
Right. And so I was
This is
like,
why when you put influence, this is why I tell people don't even call yourself an influencer. It's such a negative connotation now because 8 out of 10 of these people are grifting and lying,
yeah, yeah,
drinking and lying.
yeah, they are. And so she claims to be this relationship expert, and she comes out saying great things. Now, there's things I've liked that she said, and there's things I disagree with what she said. But also, too, as I'm looking at her page, as I'm seeing, things come in, I'm like, bitch, she's not even in a relationship. Like, my number one problem is you're not in a relationship, but you have all this relationship, experience and expertise, and you're not even with anyone.
There was another big influencer recently. She's super pretty, so all these girls love her, and she's always talking about how to keep a man, and a man won't do this. And then they found out that her man cheated on her, and now all these women are like, if they cheat on her with the way she looks, I have no hope. I'm like, is that the self esteem you've gotten from
Yep,
this woman?
that's
Looks
exactly.
don't mean that someone won't cheat. That's the thing. Cheating has never been about looks,
No.
or
Yeah.
else people wouldn't cheat on you with people who are less attractive than you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cheating is about selfishness.
Yeah. It's their issue. It's not yours.
Well, I'm
Yep.
going to do this because I normally jump on you guys when you guys say thing about men. I will say this: the majority of time, from my experience of watching men who cheat, it is selfishness because it's just about getting it. That's why you can see the man found in hotel, man found cheating behind a dumpster, man found cheating at the office. But a lot of times you hear a man comes home, found woman cheating, and the man just like in our bed where we stay with women. A lot of times it's an emotional thing, and with men, a lot of time it's just about let me bust this. But
Yep.
of course, there are outliers because there's also women who cheat just because they're horny pieces of crap, and there are men who do the same. But I see that a little different on both sides. They're both equally wrong. Just one is allowed to be more excused. The emotional one is allowed to be more of an excuse than the I just wanted to, I just want the fuck.
Right. Yeah. They both are wrong when they're cheating. Both are wrong.
Regardless, doesn't really matter the reason.
But yeah, I feel like a lot of these people, you know, talk about relationships and, well, these expertise and these doctors on social media. Some of them don't even won't even show their degrees or their certificates or whatever they call themselves, but they have all this advice and they don't even have a relationship. They can't even say that they're in a relationship that's thriving, or that, whatever examples of the things that they're spitting out. And I was just saying all that to say, this woman has a big influence on the black women, on the black community. And now that they found out about her, that she's not who she says she is, everyone's just like, in a frenzy. And I'm like, da, da, da. But I was already onto her. I was already like, I don't see you with no man. I don't see you in a relationship. I don't see you with a woman. Like, I don't see you in a relationship in general. So, like, I'm very skeptical about the things that you're saying.
Did she teach high value? Because Ellie, because do y'all see the people that are always talking about high value man, high value woman, and they're always trying to tell you how you define that you're high value? How are you going to define how I determine my high value?
Right.
Mhm.
You know what? One of the biggest
Your
issues.
name is not Ellie.
I'm sorry.
Wait, what was the question? Run it back.
Oh hell, go ahead, Lynn.
Well,
And
well,
it was
and this comes from my life experience that nobody can really discern or define for you what's good for your life. The issue that I have with social media is that, especially,
Oh,
and
here
I'm
she go.
sorry to say this, our younger women, our younger people have not learned to discern the difference between what's good information and what's just social media.
Well, I'm
Okay?
gonna push back on you, Lynn, because it ain't just the young people. You can go see
It's
a whole bunch of people in that
and I'm gonna
chat.
go right
Some
and I'm
dream.
gonna
It's a
agree right
whole lot
with
of
you.
old fools
I'm gonna
falling for
agree
it the
with you.
same way.
I'm going to
For
agree
real.
with you. We've not learned, people have not learned with social media how to discern what makes sense. And I will tell you again, only from my experience, that when people looked at my marriage, my relationship to a creative person, everybody had their own perspective of what was good, what was right, based on what society thought your life should be. What
Right.
nobody ever understood until after my husband passed, they're like, oh, I get it. I see why you all were so bonded together. And as an individual, you have to come to understand what feeds your soul, feeds your spirit, feeds your energy, feeds your happiness.
I agree.
And until then, yes, it matters that you got a roof over your head, that you can keep a roof over your head, etc. All those things matter. And that's why I will say to any female out here, do what you have to do to take care of you. And if it takes care of you and your mate, fine. As long as y'all are being taken care of. Okay? Because the bottom line is everybody wants to look at who takes care of who's the breadwinner. I don't like that word. Who's the spirit winner? Who's the energy? Who's the motivator? You know, we look at certain terminology and say that's what makes a difference in a life. The way I was educated, what I had, there's no reason I couldn't take care of myself. If I turned around and relied on a man to do it, then please tell me why I spent 12, 14, 16 years in school. I should have just finished high school and said, let me find a husband that'll take care of me.
Well, you weren't built that way. This was a great
I
episode.
wasn't
I think
built
the
that way.
biggest thing that we learned today. You want to know? I think the biggest thing that we learned today
What? Talk to
that
us.
if the AI makes your forehead shorter, it's a good ass thing.
No, it's not.